If you're an avid user of YouTube, you've most likely seen a video titled An Old Man's Advice pop up on your home feed or recommendation tab in these past few weeks. I myself and several friends of mine recall seeing the video around, but none of us actually watched it until I myself decided to a few days ago. For those of you who haven't seen it personally, the video is a face cam recording of a man known as Bernard Albertson, who speaks about his life hardships to inspire those in the younger generation to work hard and tells them that they'll be able to succeed and make the world a better place as long as they hold on to their ambitions and determination.
And I thought I'd tell you a little bit about myself. I quit school when I was in the 10th grade. My mother and father left me standing on a street corner. And so it was up to me to make it.
Bernard states that in his own life he was homeless from a young age in the 50s when his parents left him, which forced him to work at a Shell gas station for $1 an hour, 90 hours per week to stay afloat. He lived in the back of a car and used a variety of low-budget methods to tend to his personal needs like showering, washing clothes, and eating, which included stealing fruit from a nearby grocery store out of desperation, something which he suspects the owner knew about but continued to let him do, knowing his situation. Following this, Bernard states that he went to the service and attempted to build skill by teaching himself to read. Eventually, when released, he learned to do so successfully to the point of becoming a writer. Beyond this point, he says that he went on to attend college, got married, and despite facing some financial trouble like many do, he was living happily. Upon doing some basic research into him, you'd see that Bernard has published 22 total books. 10 more than he'd released at the time of creating his An Old Man's Advice video in 2015. All of these are religious novels, a trend that is echoed on his other YouTube videos as well, and while defunct today, older archives of the website linked on his YouTube channel show that many of the videos were embedded there. From his online presence, it's clear that Bernard's intent to motivate people is a goal that went beyond just his most popular video. Even excluding the religious aspect of things, Bernard's message across his content and channel boils down to the idea that individuals can better themselves and their lives if they're willing to persevere. And in an odd twist of fate, this became true with Bernard's online presence as well, since in the month of July his An Old Man's Advice video and several others saw widespread popularity and racked him up nearly 200,000 subscribers in a matter of weeks after having sat with under 1,000 subscribers for the majority of his channel's 10-year lifespan. But unfortunately, this success was bittersweet. As I mentioned, his website is defunct, and due to the fact that his latest upload was in March of 2019, Bernard hasn't been active online for quite a while, and it was discovered that he had actually passed away at the age of 82 on July 10th, 2020. Just over 2 weeks ago at the time of this script, and just before his videos would see widespread traction. A tragic fact that many would go on to mention in the comments of his videos as they reflected on the terrible truth that Bernard never did live to see the widespread attention that he would ultimately receive. But this isn't necessarily true. Bernard died of unidentified, or rather unspecified causes, so there's an innate possibility that he wasn't spending his last few days in a hospital. And despite not being active online, he may have been aware of the success his video was getting since its spike of popularity started on the 8th and only grew from there. Technically, there's a 2 to 3 day window he could have seen this increase in traction. If there was any silver lining to this situation, it'd be that despite it being very possible that Bernard Albertson died before ever knowing the full extent to which people would come to know him, it's also possible that the internet fulfilled his wishes on his last days.